We are live again, and we just have a touchdown pass thrown by Gabbert. What's his first name?
Brett
Gabbert. That's right, Miami of Ohio. Quarterback, younger brother of Jaguars legend Blaine Gabbert in the house on the Maction tonight, throwing touchdown passes. Joshua, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. As good as you can when you cheer for this team. How you doing?
I know, right? We're used to it. We'll get into it. But same shit, different day. All right. Intro down. Time to talk stuff. Welcome in on this beautiful Tuesday night. I mean, it's a big night. There's some shit going on. We might be down on some viewers, people are preoccupied. There's something big going on. College football rankings, NFL trade deadline, Tuesday night Maction. Who's got time for us? I didn't forget anything, right?
I don't think so. I think you nailed it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
The voice?
All the big things going on this Tuesday night. Cool. So we get a 28-23 loss to the Eagles in Philadelphia. And, you and I were texting here a little bit ago before the game or before this show about the game. And I said, this is just like the same story of almost every Jags game so far this year. It starts off real bad. They look real bad. Let me see exactly how I worded it here now. I said, oh, yeah, here we go. You look like crap. And then somehow you should be getting your butt kicked like way more than you actually are. Then you somehow pull yourselves back into the game only to just shit the bed and lose it and disappoint. I don't know, one of 5-6 games this year that can probably fit that exact mold.
Yeah, NFL conspiracy. Keep your eyes on the game.
It's just unreal, man. And now I was thinking about that. If that doesn't scream coaching to me or to you, because it screams coaching to me, the fact that they can just come out so flat and so ill prepared, especially when you tend to have a scripted opening drive, and they've been pretty piss poor at those. But the fact that they've looked so bad in the beginning goings of games, but always managed to bring it back and have a shot, speaks to the talent of the team here, right?
Right.
Only for them to just do something stupid and blow it all away again, which brings you back to mostly coaching. So the coaching starts this team off on the wrong foot. Players and talent bring them back for coaching to disappoint them again. It's unreal.
It's a song that never ends.
It really is. It's insane. And it's kind of like the whole receivers drop everything for Trevor bullshit, because you're going to keep coming up with the same excuses, but as long as it's still happening, it's still a legitimate excuse.
Yeah. Nakobe Dean caught Trevor's pass better than any receiver did on Sunday.
Oh, fuck, dude. You're so right. That's pathetic.
There's not a single Jags receiver who makes that catch that Nakobe Dean made to seal it.
I don't even have words for that. We'll break down a little bit more on the game here, but let's do some stats first. So Trevor, well, give me your thoughts on how Trevor's day went, first of all, before I talk about stats.
I think he was mostly good outside of the obvious last play of the game. I mean, he didn't have his typical sprays. like all of his misses early were straight up drops. I don't think there was one spray in there. And then, I mean, he had some miscommunication things. Obviously, he's throwing long. Parker comes back. Tim Jones cuts inside. He throws outside. Stuff like that. But overall, he was good. He made a dumb pass at the end. He goes bozo mode every
So
once in a while.
my first reaction was he had a couple rough plays. But yeah, when you go back and watch and like you see things people who are smarter than me say on Twitter, and they'll say, "Hey, you know, this is like you mentioned the Tim Jones one." I don't remember the other one you just mentioned, but whatever. Like the plays like that where you break it down and someone who knows what the hell they're talking about says, "No, this was a miscommunication," or "This guy did the wrong thing here," and you're like, "Okay, so yeah, it's not as bad as it looked," which is kind of the story for Trevor.
Yep. I mean, don't know how much stock you take into PFF. He came in right at 15 for the week. So, average day.
That seems
Not
fair. I
bad, not
mean,
good.
you know, we just wanted I wanted to get your Trevor Browner because that's really what matters the rest of the way. Like
Yeah, he's still playing good
Trevor and Brian
football. He
Thomas.
has for the last month. So, he's just auditioning for the next coach.
Yeah. So we're gonna look at team stats here, and this is real sad because Eagles more than doubled up the Jags yardage wise, 447 to 215. And that was only with two more drives than the Jaguars, 13 to 11 as far as total drives. Yards per play, 6.1 for the Eagles, 4.2 for the Jags. This was just an ass kicking on every level. Third down was a big problem this week. I mean, it's been a big problem all year, but this week was
Oh my
even worse.
God. This week
The
was
Eagles were 9
disgusting.
of 17, including multiple third and bigs.
Yeah,
That
they
were
scored
picked up.
touchdowns on 3rd and 18 and 3rd and 17.
Right. Eagles racked up 237 yards on the ground, which is more yards than the Jags had in total on the day. Time of possession went 38 minutes, 12 seconds to the Eagles to 21 minutes, 48 seconds for the Jags. I mean, the fact that, you know, that I mentioned already, but the fact that they were still in this at a point and,
It's
you know, and
amazing.
had a chance to go win it at the end. Like, what?
Yeah.
Now, I know the Trayvon play has a big thing. You know, I mean, it's like without that, it's not a game,
That
obviously,
was a gimme.
but still, they still were in it, and I don't know, man. It's weird because like you watch the games and you're like, this isn't a 2-7 team, but then you watch the games and you're like, this is a 2-7 team.
Yep.
I it's the weirdest phenomena. Like,
What is it? 5 of 7 losses by 5 points or less.
mm-hmm.
And all of them at one point they were down by double digits.
Unreal. Yeah, same shit, different week. Individual stat wise, we can talk. And Trevor was 16-31, 169. No touchdowns, 2 picks. And obviously the first one to the ETN one was like, here we go again, ball right off someone's hands into the defender's arms. Like,
Oh my God.
I just don't
Popped
get it.
right up.
Yeah. And the really frustrating thing about that is like, not saying you see this like all the time, but like you see that shit like that happen to other teams in the league, but the ball's hitting the ground or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like every single time that happens to Trevor, it's picked off.
Yeah, you already know it too.
Yeah.
Like the dude's diving for it, you're like, it's a pick anyway. We had 2 of those where Andre Cisco dives for it, and both of them hit the ground, but the one that Zach Bond dives for, magically arms underneath, just crazy.
And yeah, that's a great point because we never come away with those.
Never.
We have what, 1 pick all season?
2, both
2?
by
And
Cisco.
we just picked one up this week, so 2.
Yeah.
Sad.
Disgusting. Oh no, 3 because the Jerry and Jones got one from Jordan Love.
Oh, yep, you're right. ETN was 3 rushes for 24 yards, 2 catches on 4 targets. Still a Jaguar. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good move. I mean, he's a good back. He's obviously going down the same path that like we had with Tank last year. Or right now, you're scared for him to touch the ball because something bad might happen. But he's a good change of pace guy. I don't think he's ever going to be an elite back like we thought we were getting in the first round. But
Right. I mean, if they had an offensive line worth a damn, ETN would be way better because, like,
yeah,
we talked about their running styles before, about how he needs space. Like, that's his game. Like, he needs a chance to make a guy miss. He's consistently a league leader in, the missed tackles forced, and he just doesn't get the chance because the dude he has to make misses in his lap instantly.
yep.
And so, like, that's just not his game, and it's a bad match. I think he walks this offseason and he probably gets a comp pick. So, I mean, not trading him is
Well, they
fine.
still have. Well, did they decline the option?
I don't
I
think
can't
they'll
remember.
pick it up even if
I
so.
can't remember what they did with it
I
because they
think
would have
with
had to make the decision last year.
all right, I'm gonna have to look this up now because now I don't remember.
Yeah, they typically have to call it before the offseason because that's why the quarterbacks always sign their contracts after the 3rd year. They pick up the option and then they make that option year like a
Oh yeah, they did pick it up.
okay. So we still got one more. Unless Tank
Oh,
just
and it was only
absolutely takes it over.
6.7 million.
Yeah, it was a good number. He was taken at 25th, so
So let's look at his contract and see. So you're right. He is taking 6.1 on the team next year. So I was wrong on the potential comp pick. But he'll walk after next year and you'll get one. So if you trade him, you're taking a pick sooner than later, but the comp pick likely, could be higher.
yeah.
I mean, no one's trading a 3rd or a 4th for him.
It'd be a late round pick. Just like Khalil Herbert went for a 7th, it'd probably be something like that.
Probably like a 5th or a 6th.
Yeah.
I don't know, Balky special. You know what? We got Grindberg chiming in, says, "Go Jags, go." On our fantasy show the other night, I said to start Patrick Mahomes, and he made fun of me. He's like, "I've got him on video pumping Mahomes and the Chiefs," and now, hold on, Command Shift 5. I got a screenshot. Boom. Grindberg says, "Go Jags, go." Eat it, Grindberg. Tank, man. He went 8 for 22. No involvement in the pass game. Not surprised. I mean, there's just no reason for them to run like that. They just didn't, game script kind of took them out of that one.
Quick.
Ingram was 5 for 45 on 10 targets. It was a rough day for Ingram, to be honest.
Yeah, he had 3 drops, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And that one that's been floating on Twitter where he jumps off the ground when he's when the ball's like at his chest.
That's what Marvin Jones used to do. It used to infuriate me.
I don't get it. So like a pretty meh day for Evan Ingram as far as he goes, and as far as what we're expecting out of that guy, especially with the injuries, man. Like, we're talking about dude stepping up, and the 10 targets, like, he's commanding the targets because
that's what he's gonna do.
Thomas, but we'll talk about that in a second. But damn, not a good day for Ingram. Parker 3 for 41, 6 targets. I'm not surprised they got Parker, pretty well involved. With the guys out there, he's got good chemistry with Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
It looked really good in preseason. I mean, it's preseason, but
he took over the Christian Kirk role.
Right. And On my fantasy show too, that I was on Grindberg with, we were talking about the Jags. I said, look for Parker to step up with Kirk because, like, I think he's a solid player. I don't think he's like crazy good or anything, but like he's a good player. Like I think he's a solid NFL receiver, who's just buried. Like when you're paying Christian Kirk still, you went out and you paid Davis, you drafted Thomas in the first round. Like, where's your playing time for this guy? Without injuries. Well, the injuries came, so he's got a shot. And yeah, I look for him to be the dude on this list to be the one to keep stepping up for him.
Yeah.
Because then you got Alan Trammell. He caught 2 balls for 40 on 3 targets, including that. I forgot I didn't even mention the stupid punt yet. That happened. Jags get a nice opening drive stop, which is rare, only to give the ball right back.
Instantly.
Brian Thomas, 2 for 22 on 4 targets. And this is criminal, man. Talk about Brian Thomas and what Doug said versus what he said, if you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah. Doug said they were clouding Brian Thomas, so that means they were shading a safety to his side for a little like double coverage per se. Thomas said, nope, they didn't play me any different than they normally do. So it's very interesting. And you can tell he's starting to get like frustrated. He's starting to get that like alpha receiver where give me the ball, like I demand it type thing. And honestly, I'm all about it. Like there's nobody else on this team. Call for that ball.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I agree. I'm all about it. He's shown like that's what we need to do. And 2, when you're down your top 2, your other top 2 receivers, what the fuck are we doing giving this guy 4 targets?
Yeah. This team's not going to the playoffs. They're not winning the Super Bowl. Pepper your first round pick and let him get better.
I know. I don't get it.
Force feed him and turn him into an alpha.
Right. Like give him, even at this point, the rest of the way, if a couple of more picks happen like that one in Buffalo because he's doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like even if those things happen the rest of the way a few times, fine.
Right. What's going to matter? Are you going to lose? Oh, well, you're already doing that now.
You're failing forward, hopefully.
Yeah.
And if not, you're realizing, hey, this guy's not improving despite making these mistakes over and over again. Well, you know what? If that's happening, well, then you have a bigger problem. And you know what? You just realized it in his first season. Now, I'm not saying that's the road he's going down. I don't think that's the case at all. However, what are you gaining by not slamming a cinder block on the gas pedal with this guy?
Yeah. I don't get it. It's the whole scheme versus players thing. And Doug is firmly, this is my scheme. These players are going to play in these spots.
I think some of it is probably just Doug being petty too, man. Like, I wouldn't be shocked by that because, this is Balky's dude. First time Balky's ever hit a receiver. And I bet you Balky's
how about that?
Balky is flaunting this pick in that building, especially to Shad. I guarantee it. Like, hey, look at the one thing that's going well. It's this rookie who's taken the league by storm and who's already, he's not going to be this week, but hey, he's 5th in the league in yardage or whatever he was. Like, he was up there going into this week. So I would put a large amount of money that is Balky's number one
selling point.
Yeah, thing in Shad's ear is like, look at that receiver I found.
Yep. You're not wrong.
And as a byproduct of that, I would not be shocked if Doug was a little bit like, "Oh, fuck you, man. Like, I'm not going to do what you want with them."
Yeah, you're totally right. But you got to think if Doug still wants to work in the NFL, he's got to put like good tape out there of like, look what I'm doing with these guys. Unless he's just like totally fine with, all right, we're cool. I
Right,
had
but
my
the whole
fun.
Chris Taylor thing screams, do you want a future in the NFL too?
Yeah.
Like if he's not willing to separate from press, who's going to give him another shot? Because I
Yeah.
doubt someone brings them both.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's crazy.
Um, so past Brian Thomas, we saw Tim Jones get a couple of targets, caught one for 10 yards. I'm over watching this dude try and get the ball.
He had that one good catch on
I don't
third down.
care. Luke Farrell didn't have a catch on one target. And then the last but not least, but in this case, maybe least, Dearness Jones. I'm sorry, Johnson. Jesus Christ, I wrote Jones on the sheet. No catches, one target. We haven't gotten this dude involved all day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's send him on the wheel route when it matters
Yep.
most. And Trevor, and we're gonna say, Trev, just look and throw.
Yeah, they got the look they wanted, so you hit it.
Yep, that's 100% what happened. Yeah, you're right. This is a specific defensive look we like, and we're taking advantage of it. Hit the play.
Yep.
And you're doing it to Dearness Johnson. I don't get it.
It's quite the conundrum. I mean, what
I
are we
wonder.
last?
I wonder if they saw the same thing as the Jermichael Hasty play against the Ravens in 22.
This hasn't
Oh
gotten
no,
talked
shit!
about.
He was lined up out wide on that one.
Yeah, he was lined up out wide for a cover two beater.
Never mind.
But one thing that I don't think anybody's like really addressed is Doug said like, "Hey, we just practiced this week, right?" But N'Kobe Dean said, "I knew what they were going to do. I've been watching film, and that's the look they typically give." So where are we? How does N'Kobe Dean have film on something that you just made up this week?
Yeah,
Like,
I think we're gonna go ahead and trust N'Kobe Dean and Brian Thomas on these ones.
yeah, like they made the. Uh, that was so frustrating, and nobody like followed up about that. Like, hey, N'Kobe Dean said he's been known this is what was going to happen.
Yeah, that would have been a good question to ask. Not like he would have given you an answer you wanted, but
Right? Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't. He's a fucking turd. I
um,
spent 10 minutes ranting on 22 personnel, and he used Britton Strange 9 times.
I forgot about. Yeah, dude, that's insane. Especially coming off his best game of his career, and it's not close.
They're like, yeah, we got to shelf that one. We don't
Yeah,
want to see it. We
this
don't want to
guy.
see that anymore.
Any chance at forward momentum, throw it out the window.
Yeah.
I already mentioned the fact that this team and the defense. There's been another theme throughout this show over the weeks is the defense pulling them back in and making stops at times you don't expect it, and like just giving them a shot, even like with as atrocious as this defense has been, they have still had a few times where they've done the job to give the team a chance.
Yeah. I don't know what I hate more, whether it's this defense or last year's. Because like this one, you're like, what the hell are we doing? But you're seeing like adjustments every once in a while. Where last year, if we were getting our teeth kicked in, we just got our teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
Like Mike Caldwell made zero adjustments. So it's like, man,
It's
do
like
I like the one with super high highs, but like when they suck, or this one that like kind of sucks all the time, but sometimes gets decent.
right. Yeah, that's a good question. Last year felt like playing Madden. You have no idea what you're doing. Like when
Yeah,
you're younger and you just call the same like defense over and over and over again.
yeah.
That's what
That's
last year
exactly,
felt
no matter whether it's working or not, you're like, fuck, this is all I
like.
know.
Yeah, so yeah, they get the stop there, opening drive, and dude, it felt good. It felt really good. I didn't look. I should have looked this up, but how many opening drive touchdowns did you know off the top of your head have they given up? I want to say 7.
For the Jags,
Yeah, 7 seems high, but that's my guess.
so they were what, 2 and
2 and 7.
So they were 2-6 going into it. I think it was. I think it was 6 because I don't think the
6 of 8.
Dolphins or the Patriots did. Right?
Yeah, I
Or did
think
the
6 of
Patriots?
8.
Yeah, 6 out of 8 games at
So yeah,
that point.
dude, absolutely amazing that they get the opening drive stop here, and you get it on a. This was the even better part. So you give up a first down on your first third down, 3rd and 4, they convert, and you're like, yeah, that's I'm used to that. Like we can't stop shit, so here they go.
Right.
Saquon hits 4 yards. Saquon hits 4 yards, brings you down to 3rd and 2, and you're like, great, this is what's happening. They got the stop on third and 2 to force
Yep.
the punt. So like it wasn't even like a drive where a drive just stalls out or something. You know what I mean? Like no, this was like a short yardage on 3rd down at midfield, and the defense came to play. And this has been a huge problem for them. And they made the stop only for your practice squad call up to just screw it all up.
Before that touchdown, do you know how many points the Eagles scored in the first quarter all year?
It's been real bad. I know that. They've been a second half team.
Yeah, it was 0.
Oh man.
It was like immovable force for a stoppable object or whatever, and they just it worked out for the Eagles.
I wouldn't expect it any other way. So the
Uh,
Jags come around and get a wonderful 6-play, 13-yard drive after after the Eagles touchdown that culminates in a 7-yard sack on 3rd and 4 at midfield.
oh yeah,
Trade a couple more punts. This is what I'm talking about. Jaguars then went force 3 and out. They picked up a sack. Hines Allen, and he had, I believe, 2 on the day. He looked really
yep,
good. But yeah, stepping up again, only to get to send your own 3 and out right back. To which they get the ball and put together a 15-play, 68-yard drive in almost 9 minutes. Somehow the Jags hold on for a field goal here, man. And this is one that starts late in the first quarter, takes them down to about mid-second. This is when it starts to feel like they're in deep trouble already. They're in over their head. They come back up. Turnover on downs. This is a ridiculous play call. I texted you instantly. And I don't even remember. I was like, what the hell was that?
yeah, yeah.
You
I
get
learned. Yeah,
3rd and 1 and you try the sneak. Trev was really close. Just do it again.
yeah. He's 6'6". I think that was what I responded to you. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
why would you use your 6'6" quarterback for 6 inches? That's crazy.
Yeah. Instead, you do a one read throw behind the sticks.
Yep. And so we were all like pressed about pass interference, but apparently that's like a thing. Is if it's behind the line of scrimmage, there is no pass interference, non-existent,
Learn something every day.
right? I mean, I had a tweet that should have banged, but I didn't. That was Cooper DeJean's privilege with no flag right there.
You should have let that one fly. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it didn't hit like it was supposed to.
um, the amazing part is once again defense forces turnover on downs. Like just infuriating. And this is where the
I think
Eagles
that's when Sirianni did his best Doug impression and had Jalen Hurts try to throw it, and Trayvon like blew it up. If that's the play call for their turnover on downs.
no, this was I don't remember. This was a incomplete short to AJ Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Okay.
when he was like running around the backfield and he just like threw it.
This was right when my son was getting picked up, so I was doing drop off. I missed like a little bit. I believe it was after. Yeah, I believe I stepped out for a few after the Ingram play. That was the turnover on downs, because I don't remember that drive. I know I missed that one. because I also missed the next punt, I believe, too, because that was a 3-and-out. Another 3-and-out for the Eagles. Like, I'm going to go look. How many? 1, 2. They had 2 3-and-outs in the first half, but also a drive that had 14 yards and a punt, and a drive that went 17 yards and turnover on downs. So that's 4 drives, very successful drives by the defense in first half. Including the 3-and-out that goes 3 plays, -3 yards. First play, interception. To which they obviously come down and score a touchdown because they're a good team.
Yeah.
They're not.
I forgot that was the first play of the drive.
Because, Sirianni's kind of an idiot too. But they're still a good team. And you give them the ball for free, a lot of times they're cashing it in.
Yeah.
That was right before halftime. 16-0. And you get a 3-and-out coming out of the second half. 0 adjustment. Once again, scripted, not as hard as the opening drive, but there's still some script here. And 3 plays for 5 yards. You went Bigsby up the middle for 5, and that was your 5 yards. Then Bigsby for no gain, incomplete to Brian Thomas. And then they get a 7-play, 78-yard drive for the touchdown. This was a really, really good scramble. Was that a scramble or design run on this one? It was 18 yards.
It was a scramble.
That's what I thought. No, it was a really good play by Hurts. He lit them up on the ground. This is where you're like, okay, 22-0. Like this one's gonna get really bad until the Jags drive down and get their touchdown. But it's one of those ones where like, well, yeah, you're down 22. Great job. You came back and got a touchdown. But they got the conversion to pull them within 2 scores. The next play is the first play of the drive, which is the Trayvon touchdown. They get the 2-point again. Now you're down 6. In 2 plays, they gained 16 points essentially. Pull themselves right back in it. And that's what happens when you have good players, right? Like you have a quarterback who, despite all the injuries and adversity, can still go get you a touchdown drive, even though you're down a lot. Like he still made it happen, followed up by your, another number 1 overall pick a couple years ago, making a big play. And he made it happen too. I mean, that was impressive as hell. I know anybody could have been at that spot. Like it was right place, right time for Trayvon to pick that ball up.
That
the
return
rest
was
of it was
amazing.
all him.
Yeah. That's why you draft him for that right there.
Absolutely. Oh, God. Trent Baalke was probably creaming his pants in the press box on that play.
Oh, yeah. He sent that to Sean and said, see, Aiden Hutchinson who?
So, you pull it within 6, and then you force another turnover on downs. And you probably should have kicked the field goal if you're the Eagles because you would have gone up 9.
Yeah.
And because you're at the 25. And so that's what, a 42, 43 yarder, something like that.
42,
and Jake
yeah.
Elliott's 1. That's like a gimme in today's NFL. And Jake Elliott's a good kicker. We don't really need to get in the rest of the game here. Eagles scored touchdown, went up 12. Jags scored another one to pull them back a little bit. It was on that Trevor run. And it ends on the infamous play that we already talked about, which is really, it just sucks because I know they got aided on the pass interference on that drive, but Trevor still hit that one play to Trammell, which was a really nice ball. And it has you feeling good. Like, hey, like we're driving down. We've got a real shot at this for it to just pull the rug out on you instantly. 1st and 10.
Yeah.
Got any other thoughts on the Eagles game before we move on?
Nope. Let's flush it and on to the Vikings.
Yeah, and about the Vikings, I'm really worried. I don't think this one's going to go well. My initial thoughts are
No,
Sam
Brian
Darnold's going to carve us
Flores.
up.
Brian Flores is going to blitz the shit out of Trevor.
Yes. Flores, yeah, I don't that's a bad matchup for defensively for the offense. And then now the offensive line is just getting hurt again.
Luke Fortner's going to play guard at some point.
Oh god, dude.
That's a hot take.
I mean,
he's like one of the only healthy linemen left.
I was going to say who else? Like
yeah.
So, I don't know, Sam Darnold, he's going to probably kill him. They've been just getting eaten by quarterbacks all year. And especially when you get an offense who has like real design to it,
yeah,
they're in more trouble. Let's talk about coaching and GM search. Based on all the indicators, it really seems as we're going to get that full reset. And if we do, there's been a couple coaching names that have been talked a little bit, but those are always a little bit harder to talk about this early. Ben Johnson is the one, and then
the belle of the ball.
Yeah, right, for anybody. God, that offense though would be so good for Trevor.
I think that we lose. We need to root for Chicago if we want a real shot at Ben Johnson. Because heavy rumors are he wanted that job last year. Eberflus was retained. So if Eberflus is fired, there's the assumption that Chicago will be the heavy favorite for Ben Johnson.
Interesting, because I was just seeing how he, because Dilla was saying something about how he preferred maybe like Cincinnati or Jacksonville for the smaller market.
Yeah, I saw that. I think there's still a chance because he said that Jerry would also throw him the bag.
Yes.
So there's still the chance. It was just that with him already flirting with Chicago and then it becoming available again, it's like, ooh, do you want to pass that up?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I forget who put out that report, but it was like it was his job, but they retained Eberflus.
And why wouldn't you want to go coach that offense?
Yeah, I mean, you have all the tools. The line is rough, but
right. But the team has a good defense, so the defense is going to keep you around.
Yep.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that, but it makes a lot of sense. Other than that, Joe Brady's been a name that's been mentioned. I'd be cool with that.
Joe Brady would be fun. Good young guy. Bring some new ideas.
And then the other names that we've heard as far as retreads go would only be, I would assume, if Balky's kept around, and you're looking at like Vrabel and Bill O'Brien. Obviously, I'm not okay with Balky staying around. I wouldn't hate Vrabel. Like, the Titans didn't give him a fair shake. Like, the dude put out a winning record and a bunch and with multiple playoff appearances with Ryan Tannehill.
Yep. Like, is this a safe space?
Yes.
I think Bill O'Brien would be okay too.
I don't want it, but
he's the only one who made that nasty man in Cleveland look like a decent NFL quarterback.
Oh, that's a take. I get on board with that.
So there was that rumor that Deshaun could not learn Bill's playbook, Bill O'Brien. So he catered the offense to Deshaun, which we obviously pro catering to your players. And it made Deshaun look like a top 5 guy before he became nasty.
Yeah, I can get on board with that take for sure.
And wasn't he Max OC that first year when the Patriots made the playoffs?
Probably.
Now, obviously, he's got some kinks. He's a snake, just like Balky. But offensive wise, I'm not. I would
That would
never.
be
I don't know if I'd really put that one out in the universe, but I wouldn't hate it.
that'd be a soap opera right there. Like get Hard
Oh
Knocks
yeah,
from that. Get like Hard Knocks Front Office Edition.
dude. I need Hard Knocks in Jacksonville just for the memes.
Yeah, that'd be a fun time. Let's talk GMs real quick. I know this is a little bit your alley. I got the list that you had texted me. First up, Ed Dodds from the Colts. What do you got about him?
Ed Dodds again with the Colts. Obviously, the Colts are, if anything, they're stable. May not be great, but they're never bad. He's pretty well respected. Ballard's a well respected GM. So
Let's say Dodds came over from Baltimore prior, right?
Dodds, I'd have to check into that. Yeah, I think so. But again, he's pretty well respected around the league. Like I said, the Colts have a pretty good system in place. If not for Ursay, they would probably be better.
Yeah. No, he came over from the Seahawks before the Colts.
Yeah, he came up with in the Pete Carroll system, and then went to the Colts. Yep. So John Schneider.
I love the obviously assistant GMs are like the ones who are applying for jobs and then like retreads. But
Yeah.
I love the assistant GM like interview because you can be like for Dodds, let's say like, yeah, this is a stable franchise. And then you could sit there and like snake out the couple things that have gone wrong. Be like, well, I mean, Richardson fell apart and, Ballard really wanted this guy and I didn't want, I mean, like
Yeah.
he could totally like make a case as the assistant, like, well, look how great our team is. But the couple mess ups, those weren't me.
Those are Ballard. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's funny. But you're right. They've been stable. They've drafted pretty well too. The Colts players who are there for the most part as impactful dudes are drafted.
Yep.
That's a plus. Ian Cunningham, Bears.
He's a popular young candidate. Ryan Poles is obviously very popular with the Bears. Cunningham comes up well too, so that's just one of those like hot names out there. Respect around the league.
Okay, so this is joined the Baltimore Ravens as a personnel assistant early in it. He played. He was undrafted out of the 28 draft, 2008. Sorry, did not make the team. Then he got into personnel stuff like right after, but 2017 he became with the Eagles director of college scouting. Then from there went straight over to the Bears. So it looks like after a handful of years in that role. So anyways, yeah, I think this is one of those ones that you get the hot name and then people kind of write it, especially with them having Hard Knocks. There was a lot of exposure to Poles and then him. I think that also probably has a lot to do here. But the Bears have drafted very well under Poles for the most part. Like they've had a couple stinkers and a couple bone scratchers, but like homegrown defense for the most part. Now I know trained for Montez Sweat kind of sent that defense over the top last year.
Yep.
But that's still a front office move, and you have a lot of really good hits in the draft from them. So, I wouldn't hate it. Now, this is the one you told me was your favorite. Mike Borginzi. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Mike Borgonzi. I've wanted him since we got Urban, and they're looking for his GM. Dude is hella respected around the league, and we know like the Chiefs are fantastic at replacing high-end talent with players in the draft. They won the Super Bowl last year with 3 rookie DBs, 2 of which were taken after the 6th round. Like that's good team building.
Yes.
They know how to do it, and he's
they
part of
let
that system.
L'Jarius Sneed go. Don't miss a beat.
Nope. Like
You
it's
trade Tyreek. You don't miss a beat.
yeah, like we make fun of their receiver core, but they've tried at every step to fix it. They're drafting and replacing. They couldn't anticipated Rice shredding his knee, and they're still just chugging along.
Or shredding tires, speeding down the highway.
Yeah, like this. It's you can't ignore a guy coming from that environment of winning.
Right. So he's been with the Chiefs since 2009.
Yep.
He had a couple of smaller roles until he became an actual pro scout. Then he went from there to director of pro scouting, director of player personnel, director of football operations, assistant GM. All he's done with this organization is impressed them and forced them to move him up. He has not held a position there for more than 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So,
and he came up under John Dorsey, who's also pretty well respected in the GM ranks. So.
Yeah, I'm all aboard on this one. You mentioned just the team building, just period for the Chiefs. I know you got the free square in Mahomes. Like I get it.
Yeah.
But with how Mahomes has played this year, the Chiefs shouldn't be 8-0, but they are because the team is that fun good. Like,
and you can look at stars all over their team that weren't Mahomes. Creed Humphrey, second round pick. Trey Smith was a 6th round pick. They took a chance on the health issue.
Chris Jones,
2nd round pick. He had some character stuff.
2nd round pick.
George Karlaftis.
Yeah.
They got guys everywhere. Nick Bolton, one of the better linebackers. Yeah, like they just do it. They find their guys and they do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you on this one. That's who I want. Another hot name is Ray Agnew from the Lions.
Obvious reasons. That turnaround can't be ignored.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a team building one here. It's like they don't miss in the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, they got clowned for that Jack Campbell, Jahmyr Gibbs double dip, and they're both pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. You trade Hawkinson away and draft Laporta, and don't miss a beat. Like,
yep.
So that'd be another solid one. And then the last one is Louis Riddick, who has kind of been interviewed around here a couple times, I feel like now.
Yeah.
I
don't
odd one.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
I feel like he would have gotten a job by now. Like, should he?
Yeah.
Deserve one. Like, not to disparage him, but I just feel like if he still had it, someone would have tried.
Right. Exactly. We missed some coaches. I got 2 names.
Hit me.
Outside of Ben Johnson. So you got one hot name, Liam Cohen. We see what he's doing with Baker.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with Sean McVay. He made Will Levis, a draftable quarterback at Kentucky, and then came back to the NFL after that.
Oh, shoot. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he was at Kentucky with Will Levis when he was hot. And, yeah, he's doing stuff with Baker. And then the sleeper is Alex Stenovich, Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator. Obviously, Mike LaFleur is the play caller and stuff. Same system, though, and Stenovich came up as a O-line coach with Green Bay. I don't know if you've noticed Green Bay's offensive line. They're usually all pretty good, and they're all drafted and developed as opposed to bought and paid for.
Yeah, I like that a lot, too.
That's my sleeper.
Yeah, I know LaFleur calls the plays there, but the design is there. The forward thinking is there. The anticipation is there from that staff. And like, that's the kind of stuff you just want in your building.
Yep.
You know what? It's the MVP of the week.
Uh-oh.
This week. It's Parker Washington, most valuable Parker.
Most valuable Parker.
I know. There's really not much to be pumping here. but I'm going to give it to Parker for at least stepping up and having a decent day. You know, could have been better, could have been worse.
Right.
You know, not much went well on offense, but at least Parker was there. Stick him at punt returns. Don't care if you got to use him at receiver. Still put him at punt return. He's pretty valuable for a 6th-round pick, I'd say.
Heck yeah.
There's Balky's next selling point to Shad.
Most valuable Parker. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's like, yeah. Did you see this this show on YouTube? They said the MVP was most valuable Parker, and you know I love my 6th-round picks. I hit an MVP. Good old Balky. You got anything else, Josh?
I don't.
All right, I'm out of here. You're out of here. We're out of here. Hopefully, Balky and Doug are out here. Peace.
See you.